Hey guys, Refresh Gaming here. Today I will be covering the jungle fairly in depth within Paragon. I'll break it up into 4 parts, so if there's some particular information you want to jump forwards or back to, you can. Feel free to skip ahead with the annotations on screen. Let's get into it. So some of you who are new to MOBAs might be asking, what is a jungler and what is the jungle? The jungle is the area in between lanes, which is inhabited by neutral monsters and harvesters. The jungler's bare bones purpose is to take advantage of those neutral monsters by killing them, gaining XP and CP. They also control covering lanes, planting harvesters, ganking and warding. Some might ask, why wouldn't you just go to a lane and farm? Well, when a minion is killed, the XP is shared between allied players in lane. This means that the more people in lane, the less XP each player will receive. This in turn means that someone in a solo lane will get further ahead in levels than 2 players in a duo lane. So now that we've covered the basics, let's get into the jungle itself. Each team's jungle consists of 6 camps, 4 white camps, 1 red camp, and 1 blue camp. The red and blue camps drop buffs that give the player who picks it up various increased stats for 2.5 minutes. Red camp gives 25% increased damage, blue camp gives 35% attack speed, 10% cooldown reduction, and increased mana regen. Along with the 6 camps, there are 2 epic monsters on separate sides of the map, Black and the Prime Helix Guardian. Similar to red and blue, Black drops a buff when killed, giving the player who picks it up an on-hit burn to structures, which is unparalleled when sieging. The Prime Helix Guardian also drops an orb when killed, however this is not a buff, it is a sort of key for a powerful team-wide buff. This key needs to be taken to a specific point on the map. Once delivered, it will give a powerful team-wide buff. This can range from 3 separate buffs, which can be selected before the game starts when you're building a deck. Harvesters, along with the camps, are also in the jungle. Harvesters is a way for teams to gain XP without killing mobs or players, and is another primary job of the jungler. Each team has 2 harvester slots on their side of the jungle, which spawn at 3 minutes. There is also 2 on the far reaches of the side lanes, which spawn at 6 minutes. Then finally, 1 in the middle of the map next to the Orb Prime Guardian, which spawns at 9 minutes. To make use of these harvesters, make sure you have a key in your inventory and be ready for the initial spawn. Once the harvester slots have spawned, stand on the pad in front of the harvester to start the process of building it. Once that is complete, feel free to continue jungling. Make sure you go and collect the XP from the harvester whenever it is nearly full. Now let's get into who to jungle with. Not all heroes have great success in the jungle, so choosing who to play can be a big factor of your success as a jungler. The heroes that I have had the most success in the jungle in order of rankings goes: Number 1, Feng Mao. Feng Mao has shields, an AoE damaging ability, and the highest base physical damage in the game, giving him a really fast and reliable clear. He has a teleport which gives him very good ganks. Number 2, Grux. Grux has a low cooldown AoE auto attack that applies a bleed, giving him a fast clear in the jungle. His charged pull and AoE stun gives him, in my opinion, the best ganks in the game. Number 3, Rampage. Due to his passive which gives him increased healing, Rampage's jungle is fairly easy. His ganks are where he truly shines, however. With a long range leap and a ranged stun, his ganks are fairly good. Number 4. My personal favourite on the list, despite being on the bottom, is Kallari. Kallari has only one ability excluding her ult that does damage. She has fairly slow clear early and okay ganks. The benefit of playing Akali is her mid to late game one-shot combo, and of course, her stealth. Now for the final and most important part of the jungle, clearing. Clearing the jungle can be done in many different ways. However, thanks to an article Epic published, I figured out the optimal clear for a jungler, so let's get into it. First things first, items. Due to the current meta, I do highly suggest you buy a health and mana potion along with a harvester key, as the health and mana are really unparalleled for any jungler at the moment. I've been experimenting with some other cards, but I'm not finding much success. Now, this first route is the best, but it will require a leash from your teammates. A leash is when a team member helps you kill a jungle camp. This can be done by taking a few hits or just dealing damage to the mob. Now make sure you let your team know what you plan on doing, as it is the early release of the game and a lot of players don't have any idea of what you're actually doing. This route starts at red, then continues on to killing 2 white camps, and then either ganking or porting back to base. I just want to warn you, this clear heavily relies on how good of a leash your team members give you. So if you're not getting a leash, do not try this route. So as you can see here, I'm starting at red and I'm getting a very good leash from Grux. Notice how I'm killing the smaller mobs first. This is due to the fact that they deal more damage per second than the large mob, so you're going to want to kill those 2 things first. Once you've cleared red, go down and kill the first white camp, and then on to the second white camp. Make sure you're always using your health and mana potions, as you simply cannot clear without them. Now, depending on if you last hit all the mobs at red, you may or may not have hit level 3 after this first clear. This could be an issue depending on your hero, as some heroes rely more on their abilities than others. If not, you can have a look around and see if you can gank someone. Or, since you have 3 card points, go back to base and buy an item. Now, for most junglers, I do recommend you buy Windcarver Blade as your first item. Windcarver Blade gives you physical damage and attack speed, which allows for much faster clears, which in turn means you take less damage. Feel free to experiment with other items. Something else might suit your fancy. Once you've purchased your item, it would be best to try and gank a lane, since you have an item up on the enemies. Look around for someone who's overextending, low on HP, and go and gank that lane. If there's no one to gank, go and plant a harvester and continue clearing the camps. Now I'll explain how to do the jungle without getting a leash. It's simply clearing all the white camps on your side of the jungle. In turn, this will allow you to hit level 3 and gank a lane with a reasonable amount of health left over. Something else I should talk about is pushing waves. If you perform a successful gank and on a reasonable amount of HP, push the wave with the laner into the tower. This is very important, as killing towers is your primary objective to winning games. It also denies the enemy laner from farming creeps that they otherwise might have gotten. That's the basics you need to know for jungling. If I missed anything, you have any criticism, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I am working on some other videos for Paragon, including tips and tricks, how to win more games, and some more guides. So if you learned anything from this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more content, feel free to subscribe. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the field.